I forget we have those things sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, it's like it's there, but we don't use them enough. So what's up, peeps?
Yo,
Hey.
What's up going on?
It's good. What are you guys doing?
you're good.
Sometimes,
Fair enough.
not all the time. I got an evil side. Just haven't seen it yet.
An evil side?
Yeah. Everybody does. I've seen yours.
I bet your wife has seen it. You've seen my evil side?
Mm-hmm. Glimpses of it.
I've seen, yeah. Man.
Gary, can you confirm?
When Brian gets evil, he gets very quiet. He's plotting. He's very nervous. I have a tell because I just get hangry, so that's pretty easy. You can always tell it what happens.
How about you, JD? Do you have an evil side?
Yeah, I have the eternal curse of a short temper.
Oh,
Very
yeah.
short temper. My dad's very short tempered.
I know Dom has an evil side. I've seen it plenty of times. JD has got the brunt of it too. Sometimes, right? It's something with beards. Just Dom doesn't like them.
Oh,
Or it's just me.
All right, guys. Well, it's Tuesday. You know what we do
It
on
is.
Tuesdays, right?
get
Tuesday.
angry.
We get angry. We talk shit about like everything. We hang out, right? So let's do this the right way.
Yeah.
I'm in a John Addict. Welcome to Breaking the Mold. Our host, Hurricane BX, is on the front lines right now doing his thing, getting some OT in. And unfortunately, he couldn't make it, but he'll be missed. But we're going to carry on without him today. Jose, thank you. Salute you. And we'll talk to you soon.
Hang in there, brother.
Yeah, man.
Love you, Jose.
Only like 8 more months of this to go.
Oh, God, don't say that. I don't know if I can do 8 months.
Oh, we're definitely going to have some type of like a little bit like, I'm sure the non-essential stores will open up, but there got to be some restrictions in regards to how many people go in the store, stupid ass lines to get into the store, stuff like that.
I'm a new man. I don't need to go to the fucking store. I don't need to own anything. Except for when the crotch rots out of my jeans, I'll have to get a new pair. But I just got 2 new pair before this all started. So I'm good for like 3.5 years, I think. So,
Wait, did I hear you say until the crotch rots out of my jeans?
dude, that gets threadbare and you get holes.
I know.
Yeah, man.
Wait,
It's real life problems.
Brian, I have a legit question for you, right? So we've had the thing going on for a little over a month now, right?
Yeah.
I personally haven't wore a belt in plus 30 days.
So I
Let
wear a
alone
belt.
pair of jeans. So
I wear a belt once a week just to make sure that I can keep myself in check. I'm like, all right, I'm still on that hole on the belt. I am not overdoing it. I'm staying within my caloric means.
It doesn't count when you put it in the morning though.
Is that right?
Yeah, because that's when you're the lightest and the thinnest. So.
Oh man.
it's funny. We should go down the list and see what stuff that we typically do every day that we haven't done anymore. I mean, Gary is the exception. 'Cause
Yeah, it's
Gary
the same.
is still doing his thing.
Yeah.
He's out there. He's fucking working. He's in the fucking field, so he has to do his thing. But like me, like the other day, I was telling my wife, I'm like, I haven't put cologne on in over a month. I haven't put a belt on. I haven't put lotion on my face. Things that I do like on a daily basis when I'm like in the real world. What else haven't I done? Shit.
Well, I know I haven't shaved for a while. So.
Oh, whoa. I think
I don't know.
Since last Tuesday.
Yeah. This is my 5 o'clock shout out. What are you talking about? I shaved this morning.
shit. There's a few things I have not done.
So do you feel different, Dave? Like not doing some of that stuff though?
I do. Yeah.
Like you're not. Yeah. Okay,
I'm
go
not
ahead.
me. Like,
Yeah.
like, so I had like a day the other day where I was like, you know what? I gotta fucking cut my hair again. I gotta shave. I gotta fucking cut my toenails and my fingernails. And I was like, I'm gonna do all this for what? Like, just for myself, I guess, and my wife. So that way I don't look like a fucking creep around her. But these are things I would typically do like on a weekly basis, and now I find myself doing it like every 20 days. You know what I mean? Like, it's like shit. I'm just really falling into the the lax part of this fucking pandemic. You know what I mean? I don't know. How about you guys?
I mean, I shower like every 1 to 3 days.
So 3 days.
Which really fucks me up because like in the mornings when I take a shower, I brush my teeth in the shower. So like there's been a few times during this whole campaign here
Don't say
that I have not brushed my teeth in the morning. And I'm like it's like midday and I'm like I haven't eaten anything. What the fuck? Oh god.
It's a
damn.
layer.
Yeah, so so basically I had to like, you know, I got to get back on a regular schedule. This is just a little ridiculous.
I'm going to tell you right now, people who start wearing those masks are going to realize that, you know, you got to brush your teeth because you're going to start smelling your own breath and it gets rancid in there when you have a mask on.
Oh, dude.
Look, I don't want to make this all about this stuff, but the masks. No, I'm just. It's so absurd to me what I see, what people do, and it does nothing when you see what they're doing with it. Like, and I'm seeing it on a regular basis. You know what I mean? Like out at work, we're social distancing. I keep saying I sanitize, like everything with this hospital grade cleaner. Every 30 minutes, we designate how many people can be in the building. So we're taking every precaution. My main course is my associates and keeping them safe to still be helpful. And but it's just I had a woman come in today that had one on, and then 10 minutes in, she's like takes it off and sets it like on the chair. I'm like, number one, that's not helping you. Number two, it's not helping anybody else. It's just, I don't know. I love
the people who wear it and they just don't cover their nose.
Yeah, it's like that.
What's the point?
What the fuck is the point?
But part of me feels like then don't waste it. You know what I mean? At least put it to use for someone else. If
a lot of the gas stations and places that get heavy foot traffic around here, they're refusing service if you don't have a mask.
Don't have a mask, yeah.
They got fucking like blast shields up in front of the register. They're all fucking gloved and masked. And I went into Sheetz the other morning and I walked in. Of course, I forgot my mask, and he's like, "Sir, we're not gonna help you unless you have a mask. You can't be here."
Just shove your fucking beard hair in your mouth and see what happens.
I know. I could have. Does that work? It's filtering.
Is Sheetz like the Pennsylvania version of Wawa?
Yeah.
So I think they have those in Ohio too.
Yeah.
I literally saw a guy who took like a plastic bag, like we were in Walmart, and he took a plastic Walmart bag and tied it around his mouth and nose. Like he just took the bag and put it around his mouth just to get in.
Did he turn blue?
I don't know, but like he was kind of upset that he couldn't go in the store, so he literally grabbed the plastic bag that was like, I don't know where he found it in the parking lot, but he just put a plastic bag around his mouth and walked in the store. So
I just want to say that Wawa is headquartered in Pennsylvania, so I found it a little bit funny how Gary's like, is Sheetz the Pennsylvania version of Wawa? And I just thought that was funny.
I didn't know that. I just they didn't have.
I've never heard of Sheetz.
I didn't have. I've seen them. Yeah, I've seen Sheetz in Ohio. I know Wawa is like a big deal
side.
when you go.
Again,
from south for
Sheetz
sure.
is the originator of the MTO. The MTO menu made to order.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, I don't know. I'm enjoying being at home. I do miss going to work. I don't miss the half an hour drive. I miss a paycheck. Yeah, that's the big thing. I miss a paycheck. So, other than that, we're just keeping busy. You know what I mean? Doing shit around the house and building the fuck out of some styrofoam. Watching
Other than getting paid, you don't miss much, huh? I don't blame you.
Yeah. I mean, it's nice being here and being able to like do stuff together. Whether we're all hanging out or we're just out in the yard doing stuff together, working. It's nice.
Well, how about let's start off from there. JD, how was your weekend? Tell me what's going on.
It was pretty good. I guess it was Friday. We tried to stay up all night, all day. To
Tried.
Well, I mean, we did.
Alright.
So we were out in the yard, I guess, all Saturday, and yeah, like I don't know. They said around 5. I got completely incoherent. I don't even remember what happened, but we were out in the yard. We did all that kind of shit, and then we came in and hung out for a little bit, and then I guess I went up, took a shower, and passed out. And then I woke up the next day at like 7 a.m. and I've been waking up at 7, 8 o'clock every day since. So,
Wow, look at you.
yeah.
Strange. I text him this morning because I was signing on for work, right? And I look and I see JD on there. I'm like, weird. 2 in the morning, 3, 4, 5. Okay, no problem. That's JD. But wait, 10 to 8. What's he doing on? I said, go to sleep.
He's like, go to fuck to sleep.
All right. Look, can I just say this without it's things are definitely off kilter because you guys know I struggle to stay up till like 10, 10:30, right? Even on show nights on Tuesday and Saturday night. I worked on Saturday, and I went to sleep, woke up at like 11:30, and couldn't go back to sleep. So I was up at like 2 in the morning, like watching TV, and I was on my phone, and then Dust messaged me. He's like, "What are you doing up?" At like 1:50 a.m. I was like, "Actually, I'm about to start The Hangover Part 2." I was up like all night and all morning. I could not sleep. I'm so off like for the same thing. It's weird.
Yeah, it's kind of nice,
It's weird.
I haven't lived this life by choice.
Yeah. No, I know.
Being up early, like it's weird. The past couple of days, I'm like the
You
first one up
daywalkers.
out of everybody. All
That's
right,
why
well,
I texted him this morning. I said,
Yeah.
JD, watch out. You don't melt in the fucking sun. You're just going to be
you gotta
nothing
melt
left
the
but a beard.
But yeah, it's it's nice.
Nice.
Just hanging out, watching movies. Got the yard all straightened out over the weekend, and Wednesday I did a little podcast thing,
Mm-hmm.
a little live stream sort of thing. Dust and Chris and Alex and Matt helped out. That was a lot of fun. And yeah.
Yeah,
Pretty
that
much
was
it.
cool, man. I saw it. I had to catch it the next day, and I was like, "Oh shit, they fucking built the figure!" It was like fucking dope. Yeah, I like the part where Dust was like saying how he's like, "Yeah, but there's nobody with blue arms and right
And then
Han Solo, and wait till the jacket comes in." And I was like, "Yeah." It was like- it's funny because like finding when you do paint stuff, like. When you first start it, you're like, "Oh shit, how is this gonna turn out? Like,
where am I going with this?
where am I going with this?" But then when it starts slowly coming together, like little by little. Shit.
Yeah,
Man, next pandemic, I'm getting a chore person to live with me, and then I can claim as a dependent and get extra money.
There you go.
Yo,
mail away bride.
I was just gonna say
Mail
that.
away brink.
Just gonna say that. Brian, get yourself a mail order bride, bro. Hi, my name is Oksana. What do you need me to clean?
I am
Sounds great.
Ivana Hampalats.
Do you want me to clean your toy room? Do you want to help me? But Brian, how you doing, man? How was your weekend?
I don't know, man. You got me. You got any numbers I can call to get one of them? Sounds great. It was fine. I watched that movie that I was telling you guys about, Sorceress, which is basically it's like one of those B movies that would come on Saturday afternoons. Kind of like the Beastmaster. Do you remember when that would come on every once in a while?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's what this was. And again, the cosmic struggle between white magic, black magic unfolds in the age of swords, sorcery, barbarians, and babes. And it was fine. Turns out the two lead characters are twins that were Playboy models, and so they loved showing off their
Their
things.
boobies. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it really, I don't know why it was called Sorceress. I don't even think there was a sorceress in this. So it was very interesting. But watch it, don't watch it. It's fine. I am 20 minutes away from finishing Red Dawn. I've never seen Red Dawn from 1984.
Oh wow.
Oh
wow.
wow!
And I have to say, this is a really interesting, fascinating movie. I'm really digging it. So I'm looking forward to finishing that here.
I saw that shit as a kid.
Yeah. Never saw it. So it's pretty good.
Wild shit.
But yeah, other than that, just I don't know. I made French toast. I haven't done that in like 5 years.
It looked good too.
Oh.
That picture you sent us, it looked good. It looked nice. Picture perfect.
You know what the trick to French toast is? You buy a loaf of bread that's not pre-sliced, and you cut them. I would say thick, like 1.5 to 2 times the normal slice of bread,
Mhm.
and then you leave them out overnight so they go stale.
Mm.
And that's what you use to make your.
So it absorbs more egg.
It's good
Hmm.
stuff.
Interesting.
Sometimes I do that. That's a good way to do it, Brian. And so, you ever buy the challah bread?
Yes,
Yeah, that's good for making French toast too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I chose wheat bread so that Gary wouldn't think that I'm a total heathen and try to eat out.
It's all right. Just douse it with a bunch of syrup, sugary syrup.
Yeah. some powdered sugar and
Still got that belt to get on now.
I don't like to. I don't like it too sugary. I like it more on the.
no, you just need a
savory
little dusting.
side. I guess. I did put some cinnamon in it and some
There you
nutmeg.
go.
I found some nutmeg. I hope that shit doesn't go bad. I don't know how long that shit's been in the cabinet, but
1972.
and I did find maple syrup that it seems that I purchased in 2016. So a quick Google search: syrup does not go bad as long as you don't open it. So, but once you open it, refrigerate it. And this is maple syrup, not that Aunt Jemima log cabin stuff, Gary. So I didn't go
Log
for that.
cabin. Wow.
You know, I didn't have that high fructose corn
You did
syrup
like
stuff.
real stuff. No, that's
So I like
That's
how
good to
this. I like how this whole "you got to stay at home" thing is Brink going through all of the stuff in his
His
cabinet,
pantry, yeah.
just finally getting rid of them, finally getting to enjoy them or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
great.
I haven't eaten any more 3-year-old steak.
Uh-huh.
But yeah.
It ain't gonna hurt you. It's frozen.
Talking about put hair on your chest.
the last couple ones that I did pull out and defrosted, I was like, these don't look right.
What are they? Talk back?
Really gray, like gray and like.
And they weren't as pink as I want them to be. So,
Dang, they were gray.
so yeah, no good there. I found an old frozen hamburger patty in the back of the freezer. It was in a
There you
Ziploc
are.
bag. I guess it was like it was a it was one of those lost soldiers from like a pack of hamburger patties from years ago, and it was all the way in the back. And the thing was, it's like, yeah, it got all the frost on it. So it was, dude, it was one hamburger patty, and it was like this thick.
A lot of freezer
It was
burn.
so funny.
Did you eat it?
No, I didn't.
God, jeez.
Ah.
Did you eat it?
Oh man. So yeah, there's that, and I almost transformed my Fans Toys Warpath, and I was like, I'll do it. Yeah, so that was my weekend. I might have done something else. I don't know.
How do you like the Warpath though? No top
I think he looks great.
Yeah, I like it a lot too. I got it too. It's nice.
I had some serious doubts. I was like, I kind of like the Batcube one, but then when I put them next to each other, I'm just like, this Fans Toys one is not too toon enough, right? It's good enough. It's got it kind of looks modernist, mature. What's that? The mature aesthetic. So yeah, I'm gonna stick with that, and I guess I'll figure out how to put that Batcube one back in the box somehow.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people putting it back in tank mode. It looks really good in tank mode. I mean, I don't know. I know you don't do both, but if you decided to, it'd be an option.
Yeah, for sure.
So
I gotta admit,
Mon-
I'm getting a
sorry.
little. No, I'm sorry. I'm getting a little penis envy hearing everybody talk about toys, and I can't
Oh.
buy any.
Oh, I'm sorry, JD.
We can't buy any toys. No, it's fine.
It's all right. Your birthday's coming. We ain't gonna see each other anytime soon, so don't worry about it.
It's like,
Your birthday's in July. We'll still be in. We'll still be here.
yeah, probably.
Gary, how you doing, man?
Just trying to adjust as in different ways, but I don't have the same barriers. Weekend was fine. Really, not too much going on. I did. Have any of you guys ever played Grand Theft Auto 5? Like, I think that's the most recent one. All right, so I have a question. The people that game online and stream it, that are doing like role plays, how does that work? Is it like they invite other people in and only certain people can play characters when they do that? Like, they're not doing like missions or playing like the actual game, but they're just like free roaming the world, doing their own stuff. They'll be like, hey, we're going to go rob this dealership, or we're going to go, just troll the cops in this car kind of thing. Does anybody know how that works?
I always thought it was people they knew.
Okay. And they're playing other characters.
Yeah.
In the game, right?
Yeah.
That's a good question. Like, who's gonna be the hooker?
So
I'll be the hooker today.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So, because I found two streamers just in my course of, as Brian says, getting stuck in YouTube, that have been proving very entertaining. And you guys know, I don't game. I don't play video games. I don't have any systems in the house. But watching them, they'll run anywhere from like 15 to like 25-minute like little clips. And it's just be like, oh, here's what we're going to do, and the one guy will be like, oh, I have some cars I'm going to try and sell. And he'll sell them in the game, and other people are coming. So I'm assuming they're other players, but maybe people he knows. And you hear them they like talk to each other like in the game, I guess. But then there's like an overlap. I don't know. I'm not educated how it works, but in some reason,
unless you're just seeing,
it's entertaining me.
Like in game, like non-playable characters.
I don't think that's the case though, because they're having conversations. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but is it in game, or is it like the people playing are having a conversation?
It's in game.
Oh,
I
would guess that's probably just you're seeing like story mode shit.
Yeah, like role play, right? Like just kind of just like free. I don't know. Anyway, so that was entertaining for a little bit because as you're trying to find different things to watch when you get bored, here at the house and stuff. So I kind of fell on that rabbit hole. And I was just, Yeah. Okay. See, that's helpful to know. Like I said, it was just entertaining, and I think that the two people I watch.
Esteban, what does this mean? GTA has a separate on K.
Yeah, I don't know what that means.
I don't know. Maybe it's a typo.
But it was entertaining, like I said, and I think that the people streaming are like entertaining enough just in their mannerisms and the way they talk. So one guy's in the UK. I don't know who the other guy's from, but it's pretty funny, So
here we go.
Gary, I gotta fuck with you for a sec though.
Oh, okay. There we go.
Here we go.
Online mode. Thanks, S. Okay. See, that makes sense to me. Okay.
Invites people into their city, and they get to roam around, or you can join someone who's looking for random people to play with.
That's cool. Yeah, because other people play like the police officers and stuff, and they'll like, it seems like they're trying to pretend like what they've seen in movies and stuff. When they pull them over, like what the conversation they have and stuff like that. But it's just terribly butchered. Just kind of like ridiculous.
Gary, I'm curious though. Like when you found out that the guy was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go sell cars in the game," and you're like, "Oh, that's something I can do."
Yeah, no, they have all different cars though. You know what I mean? They have like, and I guess you can unlock them. I don't know that much, but it was proving entertaining in nice, digestible 15 to 20 minute ish, bursts of stuff. So,
Gary needs a hobby.
No, if they don't open the fucking gyms soon. I can't do anything else in my garage or in the trees and in the palm trees. The parks are closed, so there's no bars.
Do you have a yard?
What'd you say?
Do you have a yard?
Yes, JD, I have a yard.
Go buy a shovel.
And do what with it?
Just dig some holes.
This is Florida. You can't dig very deep. I can't dig anywhere.
You got muscles.
I'm saying it's like you really can't dig anywhere because
Gary's gonna be digging a hole one day. His neighbor's gonna call the cops on him and be like, "He's digging these deep holes. I think his wife is dead."
Yeah, exactly.
No, he just wants people. He just wants people to tell people. Wants to tell people his dad joke about a shovel.
Oh, it is groundbreaking. Oh, you guys. You guys love it. You like it. It's good stuff. It's good, clean humor.
It wouldn't be the same without it.
You know what's funny? I will say I did get my wife too, just out of sheer boredom from work the one day. I was like, honey, by the way, just remind me never, ever, ever to buy anything with Velcro ever again.
Oh, no.
And she's just like, huh? You know, I was like, yeah, it's just such a total ripoff. And she like sent me like, she's like, you ass.
I wonder how many people in that day Gary got with that joke.
Oh no, just the chat and just her. It was funny. That's it.
It's like everybody passes. You know what? Never buy Velcro. What? Who are you?
It's just good, clean humor.
I'm here to
But
buy
anyway, Dave,
clothes.
that was it for me.
Nice.
Just antsy, you know, and you know, I don't know what they're gonna do when they do open the gyms. If they're gonna try and like limit people at certain times, and I can see that's being a clusterfuck in and of itself too, you know, because.
Not for you. You'll be there fucking 3:30 in the morning, right?
Dude, not here. I'm gonna have to join a different place that does 24-hour, you know, key card access, because the one I have here opens at 5, and it's fucking busy at 5 in the morning, more so than I've ever seen any place else I've lived. So,
Really?
yeah, we'll see. I'm just antsy, you know. It's like there's no stress relief.
Can they? I don't know if they should open gyms. I mean, everyone's in there breathing all heavy and grunting.
Dude,
Yeah.
listen.
And like, you'll have to wear like 5 masks.
No,
to
put
paint
a
your
waiver.
germs.
I gotta say that before COVID-19, gyms are disgusting places to begin with. So if you're not wiping stuff down yourself anyway, and washing your hands continuously and making sure you don't touch your face, if you just applied those rules to like life, it wouldn't be a big deal. You know, in a normal scenario, it's just, I don't know.
But like, and you're in a gym, you're sweating all the damn time, and
Yeah,
you're
like
gonna
sweating
touch your
out that-
face.
You're sweating out the germs.
Sweating out that fucking cooties 19 virus
Yeah.
everywhere, sliming up the benches and.
Ugh.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's why you spray and disinfect and wipe everything down. JC, have you gone to the gym anytime?
No.
It's not like that at all.
No.
Well, it should be.
Oh.
Sorry.
Well, talking about wiping things down, how's Dom doing?
Pretty good. Why, you want to like? I need to wipe down. I'm that dirty.
No, I'm just trying to get your attention.
My weekend was great. We did a Lord of the Rings extended edition marathon on Sunday, which was really nice.
That would have been the whole day.
That is the
Yeah,
whole
it
day.
was. It was pretty much the whole day, and enjoyed it. They kind of did not remember certain hidden scenes that they snuck in the extended edition.
An extra hour of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Like some of them I remembered because I did watch through them when I got those the DVDs, but some I didn't recall, and it was nice to see. So like to me, there's some of them that I thought they should definitely got in like the regular movie, because I thought I built a little bit more up and built the characters a little bit more.
Well,
but
I don't know if you know, but a lot of that stuff was stuff that was taken straight from the book that they actually just cut out of the movies just to save on the,
There's
so
so
they
much
weren't
time in
3.5 hours
They
long.
didn't add either. There's so much in the book and characters that they
Mhm.
never.
Oh
even put in the
yeah.
movie.
Yep.
Like a lot of the stuff in the Shire part of it, and the people around the Shire, the farmer, and all that stuff. You get into the book, but like it's interesting to see some like the scenes that they took out of the regular theatrical movie, and I felt like some of them should have really been in there because. And I'm all about Sam, dude. Sam is the guy. That's my man in that whole fucking movie, because he's the one.
Rudy.
He's the one that was able to because he was one of the ring bearers. If you think about it.
Hey, Dom, look at the screen.
Oh yeah. There's Sammy.
He's in his-
I'm gonna cut you off. I saw a meme today, right? And it was Sam and Frodo, and he's like, "I can't throw the ring in for you." But then he goes, "But I can throw you in," and he throws Frodo.
Jesus.
But like if you actually think about it, Sam is the one that kind of was the strongest out of all of them, because he actually gave up the ring back to Frodo once he had it for a time. And actually, the funny thing is, in the book, it's longer than what he did in the movie. You really don't realize how long he had that ring for when he eventually finds Frodo in the tower that the goblins had him locked up in. it was him as a character really, like, I know the story. If you guys didn't realize, the story is literally about him. I think a lot of the, like, a Tolkien was portrayed as Sam. I think Tolkien was writing the story as him, as that character. So
Dom, did you do the Hobbit movies with your, or just Lord of the Rings?
no, just the Lord of the Rings extended
Okay,
edition.
just
I didn't hit the Hobbits. We didn't do the 3 movies for the Hobbits series.
Well,
so.
what wasn't Tolkien like? I could be wrong. Wasn't he in a war or something like
He
that?
was in a war.
The first World War when he
Yeah,
wrote
so
those.
I know a lot of the book had references towards that. So maybe
Yep.
that was him portraying a part of when he was taking care of somebody in the war or something like that.
And he has some classic, like, scenes with regards to, like, him, running after Frodo in the boat, when Frodo's running, casting away at the boat, and he runs into the water, not knowing that he can't swim, knowing that he can't swim, and that was a very touching scene. And then
the funny thing, how's he gonna swim when he's got all those, like, cast iron pots and pans hanging off him?
And rope. Doesn't he get rope everywhere?
Okay, I was saying to my wife, if he knew how to swim, that's gonna be fucking hard.
He only has the rope after they visit Lothlorien.
And that classic fucking speech that he has at the end of the Two Towers, which is always great. And so I enjoyed it, really enjoyed it. Had a good time. Sat back with a glass of wine. We drank probably a full bottle of one of those large wine bottles that we have, and enjoyed that movie very well. Enjoyed the day very well. So relaxing day. And that's about it. Like, I miss toy hunting. I really do. I attempt to do it on Saturday.
Did you see all the posts down for the Red Hulk popping up in Targets, like in great volumes, like online? Dude, I'm just saying, like, I saw.
I don't know where, but like, I attempted Saturday. I have, I wore my gloves, mask, and the thing is that it just really, like, the lines really takes the energy out of you.
Yeah,
because you're just sitting in those lines. Target doesn't, like, the way that Target does. It's funny because you walk into Target, there's no lines outside, but there's a fucking line inside for the for the registers. So it's like they do it like ass backwards, I guess you can say, because the line is not to get into the store, but the line is to get to the register, where tend to where you would clutter in the store. So they have like a system where they line you up for the register, and it wraps around pretty much wraps around the fucking store, and you end up in electronics somehow, and then you finally get yourself way to the register. But those lines are just ridiculous, and it just doesn't make it fun anymore. Where back in the day, it was just you run into a store, go to the section you need to go to, and get the fuck out. But that's not. It's like I stopped to maybe 3 or 4 Walmarts, and after that, I was like, forget it. I'm not going into anymore. And we cut our day short and went back home and watched some more Netflix. Netflix. That's my life now. So, but it is true. I'm finding the rumor where the statement where people say you kind of scroll through Netflix and never watch anything. You just watch it.
Continually scrolling and looking for something.
I think like it was like last Friday night. It was my 3 hours of just scrolling through and watching trailers of, because you know how they show the trailer up in that little section. That's pretty much what I was doing for the 3 hours.
Dude, I spent an hour once just like going through all the sites, but like, add this to watch later. It's like, I can't wait to watch all this stuff later. I just keep watch later.
Yeah, so
someday I'll get
but it was good, spending a lot of time with the wife, and just enjoying each other's company, trying not to kill each other. Trying to get as intoxicated as possible we can, so we can make it somewhat enjoyable. But not saying that we need to be drunk to have fun, but
Did you guys start role playing after Lord of the Rings on time?
No. We could have, but we did not.
Who's Sam? Who's Frodo?
I guess I'm Sam because I'm a little chunkier. I'm the fat hobbit, I guess. But it was fun. It was fun. A good time.
Nice. Well, I guess it's
That's
my
me.
turn.
Yeah. Well,
Yes. How was your weekend, Dave?
How was your weekend, buddy?
I don't know when the weekend was anymore. I don't know weekends. There's no such thing.
It's all melds together.
Together. It's all one big hodgepodge, one big mess. But I will tell you this though. So, all right, this is something totally offset. Like my company, right? So we've had two district managers in the past 7 months. So one found another job, she went somewhere else, and somebody took over for her. So we've been trying to get to know this person now for the last 6 months or so. And she's barely been in the office. She travels a lot, she's she did reorganize and redecorate the entire office, which was cool. Like she actually built. She didn't do it herself, but she had somebody contracted, built us a nice table for the kitchen and shelves, and she brought all these snacks and stuff. But aside from that, she really didn't do much. So, long story short, she's no longer with the company. So now I'm like, this is what happened on Friday. And I got a message that I had like a meeting with the entire branch on Friday. And I kind of had an idea of what it was when I read it, because it came from the VP. And like you read all the names in there, and her name wasn't there. I'm like, oh, fuck, are you kidding me? So I got like 3 phone calls before the meeting even happened, and people like making assumptions and stuff, which we were all right. And she's not there no more. So it's like, great. So now I have to report to a VP who I have no communication with. I've maybe said hello to a handful of times. And now that person's emailing me every other day to ask me about, certain subjects of, work and stuff. I'm just like, oh, shit. Like, like now is the time. Like, whatever. But...
So no more naps is what you're saying.
No, not really. No more naps, but it's. I don't know. He's really digging his claws into, I guess, everything that she wasn't doing, which I don't blame him. But it's just tough to try to come up with all that being here. So I still have access to all my files and stuff, but it's just different. My setup is different here. Everything takes me longer. So when I would typically reply to an email within minutes, it's taking me a little bit longer, and I don't like that. You know what I mean? Like, it's a simple answer, but I can't always get that simple answer just because I have to search for it sometimes. So I had to do that all day today too, because today he's going into like the backlogs of the billing and stuff that wasn't billed and problems that might have arisen that were brought to her attention but never his. So it's just like shit. Like, it's like one thing after another. So slowly but surely, hopefully we'll all be on the same page. But I have a meeting tomorrow solely with my team and him to go over our process. So, I don't have the best management. I know they don't watch, so I don't give a fuck. I really don't. And my VP, my direct VP, shouldn't have to deal with us as much as he does, but unfortunately he does. But he doesn't map out processes. He doesn't give us like the most updated information. And then next in line is my supervisor, who I just can't wait for the dude to fucking retire, because he's a fossil and he just needs to go. So it's
that's the no worries guy, right?
No worries is the fossil is the fossil. The fossil just needs to go. He just takes forever to do anything. And so it's on me. So it's like all of a sudden, like, I got all this work that I have to kind of like get together within a certain amount of time tomorrow morning, where I can't rely on anybody else to do it. You know what I mean? So that's my fun that's been happening. I actually worked this weekend a little bit because I had to get some of that stuff. So that's why my weekend was a little not so fun, not so great. But aside from that, I've been painting. I think I shared some stuff with you guys prior to the show. So I've been doing more customs. Got a nice support system with Mike and JD and Alex, who, we all bounce ideas off each other throughout the day of this mythic stuff. And it's just cool, to get a pile of toys together, like a bunch of junk, essentially, stuff that like I really wasn't going to do anything with, and build something with. So
use.
Yeah, so I'm Frankensteining toys, and it's kind of fun. So,
Trash to treasure
Yeah.
sort of situation.
it's
So,
keeping
Dave,
me
have you dismantled anything that you already owned as part of that kit bashing stuff? Like, did you look at something that I guess what I'm asking is like maybe anything that was of value that wasn't just fodder, that you bought with the intention of doing that, where you looked at it and said, "Nah, I don't really need this," and you turned
No.
it into something else.
No, not really. So
Oh, okay.
what I did have with Gary was like, like with the Mythic Legions, the orc characters are hard to come by, especially the green ones because they haven't been out in a few years.
Right.
So I had when I had done a custom a few weeks ago where I had popped the arms off of that WWE figure with the black arms, and I popped them into. So I had a pair of extra arms. So aside from that, that was probably the most expensive
Oh, gotcha.
piece
Okay.
that I had, and the rest was like a custom head I bought. And I had just took an old Lord of the Rings figure, since we are talking about Lord of the Rings tonight, and I just kind of snapped them in half. And it turns out like it fits perfectly when you could snap it back together with a Mythic with a little bit of super glue, and it still has some movement. Like the hole on the bottom of the Mythic fits perfectly around the circular part that broke off of the Lord of the Ring figure, except that if you were to shift it, it might pop out. You put a little bit of super glue, it's not going to move. That was pretty cool. So I've been doing that. Really getting into that. I started ordering paints. Like I ordered more paint. I had just bought an initial beginner set, and that's almost like depleted. I've been using it, more often than not. So I ordered more paint, more brushes, and I'm thinking about, possibly getting into it a little bit more, but it all depends on the real estate in the house, because my wife has plans to do things in other rooms of this house, but never does them. So it's either I just take them over and just say, hey, look, this is what it's going to be until we fucking finally come up with a plan, or, or let's just do what you want to do and do it fucking now, because
Yeah.
Better ask for
Now-
forgiveness
now
and
the time.
permission.
she's like, why can't you just do that stuff in the garage? I go, okay, that's great for now, but what happens when I want to do this midwinter and it's fucking 20 below outside and I'm fucking freezing my nuts off, just because you don't want it in the house.
Well, your paint's not going to hold up though either.
Exactly, it's gonna get ruined.
hmm
Yeah.
It's going to gum up. You spray it on, it's not going to dry right.
So we'll see. More discussions to come, but today wasn't the day because so that's another thing. I'm working with my wife, guys, and we work in the same industry, and she works for my old company. So I always have to hear her shit because I know most of the people she works with. I know the problems that she's going through. She has a problem that she slams the table with her hand, right? And she's slamming it, and I'm like, you do that again, I'm gonna come over there and fucking beat you up. Like, I'm like, stop fucking. I don't hit my wife, guys. Don't take that. I'm like, come on, man. Do you do that at work? She's like, no. I said, so don't do it here because now this is work, and I am your coworker. Unfortunately, it's bad enough that, like I told you guys before, my work isn't as, I guess, pulling as hers. Like, she's got to be on her fucking. She's got to be on her game, on her computer all day, and me, I could be a little lax and kind of work off my phone on my email, and then jump on and off the laptop. I'm with the kid all fucking day. Like, I'm daddy daycare. Like, like Chloe is attached to the hip. The dog don't leave my side, and God forbid I have to work for a little while. And I sit down, and then this one's fucking slamming, cursing, and fucking doing shit. I'm like, yo, shut the fuck up, That's been challenging. So I think what I'm going to do is set aside a few hours, and just work from here. It's just hard when you work from your toy room and you start fucking with toys and you don't fucking do any work. But
That's the truth.
But that's about it. So that was my weekend. Let's get on with the show. We came up with a topic. Actually, Dom came up with this topic, right? based on something that you kind of scroll through the Facebook pages on? You think you came across something?
I was as you know, during this quarantine time, you got a lot of time to read through Facebook, which is always fun. And I was reading a post where I guess a very high demand figure, or would you say secondary market figure that's very highly priced right now, I guess, and it's sold, and somebody put like always, which I find it funny how people just post shit that sells for high prices and says, well, like, look at this, and which is a whole other conversation in itself, but so they posted it, and a slew of comments start going on, and I think yourself, Dave, chimed in, and you basically were giving some type, like, giving advice to the collecting community in regards to, hey guys, these figures are very rare. They're hard to get your hands on, but they do. Four Horsemen does reissue. They don't do it often, but they do. And this All-Star Wave just passed by, and this particular figure was in that All-Star Wave, but it didn't get picked. So I'm sure it's going to be in the next All-Star Wave, right? I'm sure it's going to be there for
was
selection.
It Raycor? Is that what it was?
No.
Elgar.
It was
Elgar,
which JD successfully picked up at an NJCC one day.
Who?
Right, JD, you got
Elgar.
it. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Yogar?
I think
it's a skeleton.
I don't,
it's
I
like
don't remember how much I think I paid. It was like either 80,
like 80.
or
Yeah, it was 80.
85,
I think it was. Yeah, 80, 85. I think it was.
which
in comparison to what this sold on eBay for, which was like $500, and once again, like people started chiming in, and you got the basically, oh my god, I don't believe it's going for that price type of comments, and Dave started chiming in and just saying, just letting the community know in regards to, hey guys, don't fall into the hype, patience do, that old classic saying, patience does save pockets, and kind of wait, if you don't really need it, now in your collection, you can kind of wait and maybe pick it up for a cheaper price or a better deal somewhere else that you might fall into, whether it's a show or, like JD say, granted it still was a hype figure when JD picked it up, but he didn't pick it up for $85, but there was an opportunity to vote for that figure in this last All-Star Wave, but it didn't get picked. And I'm sure they're doing, like I said, I'm sure they're doing another All-Star Wave eventually down the line.
Well, Dom, what was the feedback on this post?
Well, when Dave did chime in and said what he said, a lot of comments. I'm not singling out anyone, but there was some people that were upset with what he said and said, kind of, felt it was negative, but it wasn't negative.
What do you care what people spend their money on?
Exactly.
Right.
I mean?
So Dom, let me
you can elaborate more, Dave, on it.
I'm going to interject just because I was the one that actually made the post. So what happens is I saw the figure on eBay, right? I saw that it sold for $500. Whether or not it sold for $500, because a lot of people were like, "Well, it sold for the
400
for 400, or it was look." Doesn't
Best
matter.
offer.
I can do
$4 or $5.
$4.99.
It was still too much, in my opinion. So I posted it, and my original post said, if you bought this, you need an intervention. Sorry, not sorry." So it was a little, it was a little, I tried to be a little funny with it, I thought. Because somebody had posted the same picture before it had sold, and there was a thread on that already. And somebody had actually bought it. So I'm like, wow, I've been seeing these things like really sell for hundreds of dollars. And these are figures that 3-4 months ago were like 150, 160, 200 tops, selling for $400 or $500. And I'm like, this makes no sense. So on top of that, in that specific Facebook group, which I enjoy very much, there's been a lot of new membership, like a lot of new members, and I'm talking about hundreds in the past few months, and maybe since this pandemic, maybe even more. Like people are just falling into the hobby. but they're eating these things up like candy, a little bit faster than we did when we originally got them, because I know we were doing the same thing. I was buying them on eBay as well, but for a fair markup, because these come out at $35 a piece for mainline characters, $22 to $25 for builders. You shouldn't be spending $500 for one of these toys.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, if it was 5 or 6 years out and this thing never got re-released, and they were known to never get re-released, hey, you know what? If it filled a spot in your collection that you needed to fill, buy it. But these are new people falling into the hype, and they're falling into, I got to have every single one. I got to have the original 1.0 stuff that came out. And when I posted this, I had some people coming back like, this is crazy. How could you spend that? I would never spend that. The majority of people did that. But then you had one or two people, one in specific, and said that I was, let's try this for an idea, and let's shame a group. Let's shame somebody in a group where we're supposed to be all positive. For buying something that they wanted to buy and enjoy, right? That's the sum of it. It was a lot more, but that was the sum of it. And I came back and I said, not once did I use the word shame. Did I shame anybody? I just do think that people need to be schooled a little bit better. Like, how are you gonna, in one sentence, in one breath, say, how could you be mean to another person in this group for buying something they wanted to buy? But how could you let somebody just blow away their money when you know that these figures are known to get re-released? They're known for people to constantly dump their collections. I've seen multiple people do it on occasion from time to time, and they just dump their entire collections, and you can get something that maybe was a little bit harder to get a few months ago. You can get it for a decent price. Mm-hmm. Not $500 price.
So let me just interrupt you really quick, because I want to make another point on top of your point. Mm-hmm. Not only, like, I'm not pointing out any specific group or anything like that, but like, the community is about the community. And if, like, you're there claiming, oh, I'm here to help the community and blah, 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 and then you're charging someone new coming into it, you're taking advantage of these people who don't know, but you're about the community. I'm sorry. Now you go ahead.
But you're right. And another thing it's doing, JD, it's changing the market for that toy now. Because if somebody's willing to pay $500 for it, guess what? The 10 other dudes who've been thinking about selling some of their stuff to make extra money on their shelves are saying, yeah, you know what? I could make $500 from this too. Lo and behold, they might have sold it for $200 2 weeks ago.
I'm tacking an extra $100 on mine.
Yeah,
and there's people like that.
Them all up for $6.
There's definitely, I know for a fact that there's collectors out there when they see a figure that they own and they bought it for retail price, and then all of a sudden the secondary market's demanding a large number. There's a lot of collectors out there that would be like, you know what? I don't need, if I can sell this for $5 and buy another 7, 8 figures, then I'll do it. I don't need to hold on to this figure right now. I can, and knowing that the company will reissue, they're easy to let that go and wait the down the line to pick it up again for for a retail price. So
information is never a bad thing, and you guys know, like,
exactly.
Right. So I have no worries about. Listen, if you can make money and the market will support it, I think that's great. But to JD's point, don't pretend on one hand to claim the martyr, and I'm here to be supportive of everyone. You can say, look, I enjoy the hobby as much as the next person, but like Dom said, if the money's right, then maybe I can get something else. And the facts is that we've known just about everything does get reissued sooner or later, or another version comes out that someone else may like more, and the same thing will happen. You can pick up the original one at a less price, or you might like the reissue, more yourself. It's there's very few things that are completely finite, and the hype, we all know, like, that hype, that's another factual thing in my opinion. Yeah, I just contradicted myself. But, you know, you go to a show, you get caught up in the hype, right? Everyone on this panel has been guilty of maybe buying something at a show that you get home and you're like, I kind of did it because I was there, whether it be an exclusive or, you know, an opportunity or just something out of boredom. And there's nothing wrong with that. So I think the hype with anything can get you excited as well, and that can lead to spending too much, you know,
Right.
or spending more. I shouldn't even say too much because that's a relative term.
Right, but that's what I was trying to.
Yeah.
That was my rebuttal to that original post. But thing is, I also had some people adding to him, saying like, "Right on, whatever, you know, like, right on, man. You got the right idea. Why should we care what other people are spending their money on?" To that original guy who posted on my post.
Well, that's
I'm like,
mob mentality when it comes to internet threads as well.
Right, but the thing is, the majority of the people that were commenting were kind of coinciding with what I was saying, but for some reason I was getting more. And in specific, there was one other person that came to me after I came to the original person and said, "Hey, look, I was just trying to school new buyers. You know, $500 can get you a lot in this line. It can get you an entire wave and then some." So when I say an entire wave, that new All-Star wave is what, 6 figures with a troll, and didn't cost $500.
Yeah, it was like 4 something. Yeah.
Right. So you could have got that plus another 2 figures for that, or 3 for that amount of money. But meanwhile, you know, you're gonna buy one toy just because you're living in the hype, and then 2 months from now, the horsemen with all this dead time and all this free time, right, might be saying to themselves, "You know what? This community is so great. Let's throw them an extra 2 figures in the All-Star wave that they had no idea that were coming." Right? What happens if one of the 2 figures was this one figure in specific? And that's what I told this person.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you have any buyer's remorse? Before that person could respond to me, which they eventually did, and we kind of found a common ground, and we're like, we're both here, to help people out. You're right. You're right. I'm wrong. Whatever bullshit. We agreed to disagree. But at the end of it, that one person that kept adding to it came to me and said, "Who made you the Mythic Police?" And I said, "Nobody made me the Mythic Police, but God forbid, God forbid somebody says something." And then I said to that person, "If you're gonna come at me, I'm gonna come back you." So I told them, I said, "You bought it, didn't you?" Shaking my head. And that person, "No, I didn't buy it, but I actually got it from somebody else in the group." So I'm like, "Great, good for you," but that I shouldn't be, again, they use the word shaming somebody for buying. So I changed my post. Instead of saying you need an intervention, congratulations, right? So that everybody can be happy. But, there were so many other people in that same thread saying the same thing I did. I would never spend that much. People saying that they wouldn't even spend the $35 for that specific figure because they don't like it. At the end of the day, that specific that one figure, you could buy a builder and have one of these.
Repaint it, yeah.
And you could
you could have one of
repaint
these great painters just repaint it for you.
You can probably charge somebody $100 just to repaint it that way for you, and you would have made it out to only spend $122 for it.
But I was made the bad guy because I'm the one telling people that they shouldn't be spending their money. There were other people telling that person, people that were rebutting me, saying, "Oh, you spent your stimulus check." A lot of people like to say that now. You're spending all your stimulus money, all your stimulus. But it doesn't matter if it's stimulus money, tax money, money earned, money given, gifted money. Why the fuck are you spending your money so fucking stupidly? And that's how I really wanted to fucking, reply to that email. I mean, that thread was, be smarter with your money. Like, think about what you're doing before you fucking do it. You're spending $500 on a $30 toy. It just doesn't make sense to me. And I've overpaid. I paid double, triple, but that's 10 times the value, even more.
So, I can remember back when we first got into them. I mean, we were like Mythic nuts. Well, I think I can speak
Mythic
for Dom.
nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I
can
can speak for Dom.
I know
Shannon and I were
had a thought process.
Always scouring, looking to see what new has been posted up on eBay, or in the groups or whatever, you know what I mean? But it wasn't to this magnitude, and I've seen this a lot in like the last year that like Matt, kind of added on to my point. Like you're saying you're a pillar of the community. You should be helping these people say, hey, why don't you just wait? Because it's gonna be coming out again. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So like it's gonna be released. Just hold off, you know what I mean? Like, but no, they're putting them up because they know some dumbass is gonna fucking pay top fucking dollar, like way over top fucking dollar for this figure. So they're not, I don't know. Anyway,
And I agree with you, JD. The thing is that when we did go into that, rabbit hole, there was times where I saw figures that I wanted, and the price at that time I felt was just too much. And there was a lot of, like, I remember when I made my first plunge and I started buying, and I felt like, okay, 80, 85, I can do, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But like but there were some figures up to the 150 mark, and I was like, do I really want that for to me, like, Grant, we all know this, that a $35 for those figures are well worth it. It's like they're undervalued. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What you're getting out of that figure, $35 is a steal. Like where BBTS sells them for $50, I feel that's kind of where they are. $45 would be nice. Like where that $45, like I would say $10 more on that figure for those the standard figures. Definitely $45. They're worth $45 to me. $50 even with a BBTS price. Like, but then like you get the 80, like, and that to me, I was like, we bought, I buy a 6-inch figure right now in another line that's a Mezco that go for $80. A Figure Arts go for $80, and they're 6-inch figures. So to me, I didn't feel like I was spending over because I do spend $80 on 6-inch figures in other lines. But like when it gets up to that, like I remember there was a time where they started skyrocketing, and they were going from like 200, 250, and I was like, no way. Like, I'm not going to buy any of those figures that I just didn't buy back when they were at 80 or even like 90. And I was like, just missed out on them. And I was like, now they're going for 200. I'm like, forget it. No way. I'll just wait. Because then we got more involved into this whole line, and we saw that they are going to reissue these. They do All-Star waves, and they they appease their fan base, and some of these figures are hard to get, but when they do pre-order, and that's what they preach a lot, when those pre-orders go up, better pre-order, just pre-order them and get them, and then you won't regret it down the road.
I don't know, dude, collectors don't like to be told how to spend their money.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, and that's one thing I've learned in this, because everything has a different value to someone else, right? So I don't know, man. Dave, I think you're kind of sassy in your post, maybe a little bit. So I think that's just you're gonna bring the people to the yard.
Yeah. That's some of that. Look,
sometimes.
the sassiest posts are the ones that people comment on.
Well, welcome to the internet. I mean,
right?
What's in the fucking box video that goes up, you know what I mean? It's like most people are like, hey, great haul, when they see it, and other people, will share their opinion. And you're right, Brandon, that's a good point. No one wants to be told. You can post a picture of a new car and be like, oh, I got a new Ford. And someone else, oh, you should have bought a Chevy. Oh, you should have bought a Lexus. You know what I mean? People are going to have their thoughts about that too. I like the idea, though, when you stick to the facts of the situation. And the facts are that, Mythic Legions get reissued in different waves. And the Four Horsemen who created the line have surprised people with figures out of the blue that weren't expected, right? Where, like you said, they add an extra figure or two to a wave, or they bring something out to a show somewhere. So it's not a guarantee, but it's something that could always happen. I don't think there's anything wrong with sharing that part of it.
Right.
The thing is that I know Dave, and then a lot of people in the community in that Facebook group does know him, and that's why the majority agreed with him, because I think the initial intent, or the initial post that he put, I understood where he was coming from, because I know he was out there to help in regards to saying, it was just a one-liner, but at the end of the day, when he saw his explanations and what he was putting down, it was actually, he uses the word school, but it's like providing some information, like, don't don't take the word school as a negative word. He's teaching you, a little bit of what we've all went through, and say, you know what, don't drop a $500 bill on one figure. Wait some time, and you might be able to get a deal and save some cash. And that's what a community should be out there doing, and helping each other. And I get it. Like, somebody that doesn't know Dave and sees that post, they're like going to be like, oh, this fucking guy is trying to shame somebody. Understood. But like, at the end of the day, as the post goes down, you saw a lot of people understanding what he's trying to say, and kind of converting over to, like, you're right in that sense. And it's just like, some was still on that bandwagon that just wanted to, call him a negative Nancy. So.
Yeah, and what bothered me the most about that, Dom, is I'm in that group, right? Probably more so than I am in most other groups.
Oh, yeah.
That's the line I'm really into at the moment. And all my interactions have been positive. Everyone, like, these people, they post sometimes 10 posts a day, and if I like your stuff, I'm commenting great stuff on it. Great job, this looks awesome, heart here, thumbs up here, always positive. The one time I decide to say, hey, take a look in the mirror for a second, what are you doing, is when everybody's like, oh my god, I can't just be here to have fun all the time. I can't smile every 2 seconds. Like, come on, man. The reality of it is, not everybody in this world can afford to spend $500 on a $30 fucking toy. And yes, you can. Good for you. I'm glad that you have unlimited fucking funds to do what you want with your money. But unfortunately, not everybody can. So that dude looking in, who's saving his fucking paycheck to be able to buy a figure at the end of the fucking week, right, is looking at that and saying, wow, what am I doing wrong? You're not doing anything wrong. You're doing everything fucking right. The person buying that figure for $500 because they have money to burn is doing something wrong. And I just felt the need to say something, because it's not just going on. It wasn't just that figure. It had been going on for weeks. Other people have commented, and they're like, wow, look at all the new faces gobbling up all the figures.
Uh-huh.
It's
like I said,
water.
I have been watching this go on for at least the last year, with all of these new waves coming out, and all of these people who claim to be here for the fucking community taking complete advantage of the situation. Oh, these are all these new people. They're fucking stupid. I'm fucking top dollar in this shit. Fuck you. You know what I mean? Like, that's not fucking cool. But hey, everybody, I got an announcement. I'm selling all my Mythic Legions, each one, starting $500.
See? See?
I'm helping you out.
See, so I mean, we've all probably spent a little more than we wanted to on something before, right?
Sure.
But what do you think constitutes that? What gives somebody the okay, the understanding from another collector that they spent X amount of money on something that might have cost them pennies to the dollar compared. And for me, it's that piece that hasn't been out forever. It's that Grail piece that doesn't fucking exist anymore. Not something that came out 2 years ago that was just up for a vote on a fucking all-star wave. Just up.
Dude,
with a possibility of getting re-released.
I hope that it's one of those. Oh, surprise! The factory fucked up, so we're just making these anyway.
I fucking
hope so.
I'll buy 10 of the same figure and fucking repost it and
fuck yeah,
and repost it.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate really quick though, and Dom, I'll let you talk only because. I remember Dave and Dom, both of you guys, when you really turned the corner on Hot Toys 2 years ago. And you really both of you guys seem to get really excited. You guys are savvy. You find different groups. You find other people selling them. You're not just straight to eBay.
And then you hit each other up on the same eBay post.
Well, but to your point, right? There has been some characters I know you guys both have paid a shit ton of money for that, were no longer around, that hadn't been out of production for all that long, right? I know you guys talked about that Bespin Luke and you missed the window. I think was one of the ones I remember you both talking about. So I think it's just, it's a matter of how much you want something, and that's only up to the individual, So I mean, it's fine,
And my rebuttal to that, Gary, is you're absolutely right, and it's at that time, like Hot Toys didn't have a reputation of reissuing a lot,
Right.
and now they do. And for us as collectors and a fan base, we need to get that message out there. So when new people come in and they see like a figure that they want, like the KOS, the K2OS, the K2SO, it's fucking $800.
Is it?
Not gonna. Yeah,
I got one.
$800.
Who wants
$800 that thing goes for. $700 to $800 that thing goes for. Now with I know what Hot Toys did it on the Mark 47. They're probably going to do that with that figure when they release a Castian, because if they do release a Castian, they have an opportunity to release that figure right beside and make a dual pack, which, oh, by the way, they've done that before with Han Solo and Chewie. So it's like, yeah. I'm as a collector, I'm not going to go jump on that $800 or $700 figure, because I know there is a possibility down the road. I know if I don't need it now.
Well, none of us needs any of this shit, right?
Exactly.
That's why collectors don't want to be told how to spend their money. Yeah. They know they're just wasting it to begin with.
Right, but the other thing is, Dom, is you can't ignore the fact there is a cost of ownership. And there's like, when you own something, you get a joy of owning that item or using it, either or, right? So you're getting something out of it. So not everybody wants to wait on a chance of a maybe either. So to them, it might be worth it to finish that missing person or to complete, that display. That's what I'm saying, so.
I agree. And there is a level to me with that. Like I know for a fact, if I can buy something like for a Hot Toy, if I can get it for $100 over retail price or $150, I'm willing to spend that money and say, you know what, I'll take that market or that late fee and pay that overprice, because it's okay for me to do it. But then when it gets into those stratosphere to like the 1,000, 1,200, 1,500, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to. I think a little bit longer and say, do I really need this figure, and am I willing to spend that? And then that's just me. And I'm not saying that I have money to burn like every day, but like it's at the end of the day, it's just I just don't. We should be teaching or helping each other understand the thought process and say, you know what, let's when it figure quadruples itself.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, Dom. There's multiple ways to look at this. Like, I think someone asked, like, when did we overspend on something? It's like, sometimes if I've never seen something before and it just really catches my fancy, it's like, I'm fucking doing it. Or if it's something like something that I know that I've always wanted and I see it, such as like Matty Collector Thundercats, right? It's something that I've always wanted, something like that. But it's and then the other one is like the Forrest Gump approach, I like to call it. It's like, well, I went this far, I might as well just keep going. I mean, look at how far I've come. So we just keep on going and going. But because it's almost like your shelf demands that you buy that now. It's not you that wants it. It's like my collection needs it.
Yeah, plays into like the obligation of it.
Yeah.
But you can also so kind of playing off Gary as devil's advocate. There are also people out there that, the people that are spending this money on it, their egos are so fucking big that that's how they want to spend their money. Oh, I paid X amount of money for this. Oh, you're a chump.
Yeah.
You're not a collector.
I've seen people like that, JD. And you want to know what I say to those people? I say the 10 figures that you're posting that you just spent $2,000 on, I spent $250 on.
Total.
I'm sitting in the corner nicely, and that rest of that money's in my bank account for the next fucking wave of whatever I need to buy, or
it like just it's paid for all of these,
right
the amount that you just bought 3 of them for.
And that's the thing too, that's what I was seeing, right, is is a lot of people buying these figures for hundreds of dollars hundreds of dollars for each. And there's been a time or two where like people would question it and be like, "Where'd you get this?" Because they've been hunting just like me and just like other people for months, if not years, for a specific figure. And these figures are not on eBay, are not in any other groups. So it's these people are spending $300 for a toy, and they're buying it from a specific person, and that person is saying, "Oh wow, this person spent $300 on this. You want to see what else I got?" Because that's what's happening, and it's happening behind the scenes. And these people picking up these hard to get figures are spending a lot for them. They're making the other people happy who aren't posting them, because they're getting top dollar for them, and they're selling it behind the scenes. And when you question them, they're like, "Oh yeah, I bought that on eBay." Like, you can't go to the eBay fucking listing and see the last fucking shit that's been sold for the past 2 months on that line. There's people calling each other out in the same group for that specific thing. Where'd you get it? Oh, I got it on eBay. Well, I don't see it on eBay. Where'd you get it? Is there a secret group we don't know about? You know? So that kind of is what got me to make that post, was just to bring attention to people just blowing their money on this fucking product.
I mean,
you know, and it's a product I enjoy. You know what? If they were buying waves of this shit, I wouldn't say anything.
Right.
You're really just spending your money
any which way you look at it. There's some sort of psychological, I don't mean to get all
do it.
But, well, no, I mean, you start understanding the human ego. This person paying that money for it, there's something in their head that puts them on a higher level than someone else. The person selling it says the same thing, like, "Oh, this is fucking gold." Some dummy's gonna fucking buy it, but like, they're playing the same fucking game.
Yeah.
Or they are just fucking stupid.
Right.
And they don't, like, they have too much money they don't know what to fucking do with.
Right.
Exactly. There's something off about it, you know what I mean? Any which way you look at it.
And some people they like to, they flip their lines, right? So, one guy today is into Mezco and decides, you know what, I don't want Mezco anymore. I'm going to get into another line, and they start selling their older Mezco stuff for top dollar, because people are looking for older stuff that hasn't been released, and then that kind of justifies their next purchase too. It's like, oh, I made $300 on this and I only spent $80, so if I buy this for $300, it doesn't matter. But just be smarter. Be smarter. If you're a real collector, be smarter about it. Collecting plastic is one thing, but then burning money is another. Like, in my opinion.
No, but I think people look at it differently though too, Dave. It's like, some people have like their fun money or money that comes from different sources, so you treat it a little different. It's because you've already spent it, right? And if you make money on, you buy item A, it appreciates, you sell it, so you can use that to buy item B, and maybe you wouldn't, spend that on it. Like, I'm guilty of it, just meaning, like, if I sell anything and my PayPal account gets to a certain point, I have to transfer money out of it, because that's my fun type of fund, I guess. And I'll start looking at stuff that makes no sense, or I start getting too creative for it. And, I got to remember that it can be real money and be put to real life usage, in other ways.
Yeah, I can see that. I see that too. I get my bonus money or my extra money once in a while, and I'm like, oh, I can just buy what I want. But just I'm just saying, just be smart about what you buy. Because for $500, I could have got a shitload of fucking stuff, and that person's got one little box coming to their house.
It's gonna
I think you just gotta stop worrying about other people.
Yeah. and that's what I take away from this group, and the vendetta. Ralphie fucking said it at the beginning of the topic, and he said, "I wish somebody would have looked out for me that way when I started collecting." Right, and that's what we've done here. We've all learned from each other, learned from past mistakes. we hunt for each other. We tell each other, hey, guess what? You're spending too much money on that. Wait a few weeks and it'll be out somewhere else. Or
I mean, there's multiple realm chats, and everybody's like, hey, anybody looking?
yes.
Hey, if anybody finds this,
Yep.
everybody's always looking out for everybody.
And within that mythic group, there are a bunch of people the same way. There are very good people in that group, and I would like to say it's the people who started the group. It's the older people, the people that
Well,
been there for a while.
There are older people that are, I mean, not older people, but there are people that have been in that group that I see pulling this shit too.
Oh yeah, but they're also
majority
involved sometimes.
Majority of the good people in there,
Mhm.
you know, in any of these groups, you know, that they're on the same page as,
Yeah.
you know, how we are.
Well, I think there's certain scenarios. So, Dave, you were talking specifically about a figure that was just recently redone or something like that, or
No,
recently voted on.
right.
But then there's others that I don't know, maybe command a certain price, perhaps. But I don't know. I forget where I was going with that.
But like,
my train of thought.
but the point is like I know we could be as a collector, you know, I'm not gonna say anything. If that's what they want to spend their money on and that's how they want to spend their money, great, go with that, do it. But that just doesn't help anybody. I really feel that doesn't really help anybody. I feel like what you've learned as a collector, what we all come in, there's all new entrants in this, and like Ralph said, like, you know, if somebody was there that told me this, I probably would have saved some money and made smarter choices in regards to collecting, and not dish out a lot of cash for certain figures that I might have had some remorse later on when it reissued, like stuff like that. So
yeah, you know what I was getting at, though? Like, you know, don't expect the fan bro price just because you're in a group, you know?
No.
Yeah, no. But
I'm not saying that.
At the same time, a lot of these groups, you can just be like, hey, you know, I'm new here. Is this a good idea?
Okay. Gotcha.
You know what I mean? These groups are open enough for that kind of conversation to start.
Exactly. Like,
there are
as a collector now,
some humane people in these groups. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
Of course, you're gonna have people that pick on you. You know, whoa,
Predatory motherfuckers.
Yeah, there's gonna be some. There's always some aspect of negativity tied to any of this shit. But you are gonna get those good people, and they're gonna say, no, just wait, hold your horses, and don't.
But dude, like exactly that happened. Like there's people that have been in there, sent people a message, just PM'd you. And these are people who have these older figures and have sent them figures for, I don't know that they sent them for a decent price, but I could only assume so, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you know, it was done behind the scenes. They weren't intentionally trying to sell anything, you know, and they were just like, I got you, I'll hook you up. And in specific, the guy who runs that group, and I'm not saying any name just because I don't know if they want their names thrown out there, but the guy who runs the group is an awesome individual, and he'll send somebody something just because they don't have it.
Mm-hmm.
He'll send something from his personal collection and send it to them because, you know what, you said you wanted this so bad and couldn't find it. Here it is. And that's why I respect, you know, him and that group. Because there are people that will do that, and we've all done that for each other too, right?
Yeah.
You know, so.
But I just want to say too, some people in their, I guess, maturity of collecting, you know, sometimes they just, you know, it's all about a satisfying an itch and satisfying a need or a want, and sometimes they just don't look at what things technically are worth. You know, I think about buying a house. Like, I wanted to buy a house 16 years ago. Like, it's what I wanted. But the prices were just insane. And then finally I just had to, like, you know, I talked to my parents. I'm like, what'd you pay for your house? And I'm like, seriously? Like, shit was blowing all crazy out of proportion. And you look at this building and you're just like, you know, it's just not fucking worth what they're asking for. And so I waited, and then we had the recession or whatever, and then I was able to get things for a decent price. But, you know, there was at one point where I was going to take out, you know, one of those stupid ass loans that would have bankrupted me and fucking bought the house I wanted. You know, I'm just, but you know, some people when it comes to things that you really really want, it's hard for them. It's hard for them to just think rationally on it. You know.
Right.
Yeah, you get emotional. You know what I mean? You get
Yeah.
emotional, you know, to some degree, or you get feelings one way or the other, and it's tough.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like there, you know, we should be a little bit more open to the past experiences, and that's what a true fan collector is going to do and help you along the road. And now with new people coming in, new entries and collecting, like it's all about it's asking the question. You know, you might not even know what the questions to ask, and in this world today, it's when you see a figure that's demanding a high price, the first question I would tell people to ask is like, is this company known to reissue? Are there reissuing coming out? Is a reissue going to come out? Are they known for reissuing? And if they are, do I then have to ask myself, do I really need this figure right now that will justify me to spend this money? And if I really want it and I want it now, that's my justification. I'm gonna pay that money right now and not worry and not have any type of remorse if it does come out later down the road, because I just wanted it now and I was willing to pay that price.
Well,
And
not only that.
Go ahead, bro.
Well, Dom, I just say your mindset. It really echoes the fact that you have been in a collector community for so many years now. I mean, shit, we've been doing the show for 113 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Exactly.
so I think everyone here on this panel, we're all kind of like-minded in that regard, just because we are part of a community. We help build it. We help maintain it. We bring people in. We talk to these strangers every night, and that's something that's kind of groomed our perspective. Where in other areas, in other groups, in other communities, they haven't evolved to that point yet either.
Because the younger collector in me would probably jump on those prices and not even ask the questions that I would needed to ask to make a smart
on eBay or something like
and make a smart question or make a smart purchase. And I feel like now, as I gain that knowledge over the years, I like to pass that knowledge to new entries, new people who are watching, and be just understand, reach out and say, you know, if you see some high demand figure that's going for a ridiculous price, you might want to, you know, touch base with some friends who have been in for a while and see what their take is. And for me, like I'm not like, for me as a buyer as well, I make those choices. I say, you know what, it's aftermarket price. It's no longer available. It might get reissued, but you know what? It's only $150 over market value. I'm willing to spend that right now to get that figure right now, and I don't care if it gets reissued. $100 over retail is good for me on that particular figure, or if it's a $30 figure, if it's over another, you know, double the price, I'm okay with that. But if it's quadruple or 10 times the price, I'm gonna just
me now.
Now I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna hold off. But younger me, I probably wouldn't even know how to ask that question and say, hey, that's what the going price is. You know, save up my pennies, buy the fucking figure, and then all of a sudden, 5 years, like 2 years down the road, they reissue.
I mean,
and I feel bad.
If you're in a group and you know, and you're trying to make that decision, there's got to be you're there for a reason. Like, you have to at least know someone that's there, and that someone knows others that are there. You know what I mean? There's a little bit of a chain going there.
Mm-hmm.
There's still that ability to put it out there. Like, hey, can you ask around? Like, I don't know anybody in here yet, but like, I don't know. That's just where my head's going. Like,
yeah, some people do that, JD. I think those are part of people.
I've seen those people.
You gotta step into some lines with, you know, 1 foot first, 1 toe first. You know, you can't. But even if you're like too shy or whatever to just post, I mean, like I said, you're in there for one reason or another, and it's more than likely that you know at least somebody there, like at least one person, if not more. Mm-hmm.
and that person, you know what I mean, and so on and so forth, and it's this big chain of people who know each other. So it's not that hard. Like you don't know anybody, you can always hit that person up, that one person that you know, and be like, dude, is this a good idea? Oh, I don't know. Let me ask around, and then that person goes on. Yeah, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
You're
I
right.
don't know.
And Brian, to your point before,
Whoops.
Being part of this group and schooling people, I think that's what's dope about the Roma Collector group. We don't sell shit. We have a different group for that, right? And it's for these reasons, because we've all been around the block enough to know that once you start selling things, things get funny.
Once you start fucking with the money,
So,
It's gonna
if
get
you're
funny.
going to have a community group where you're going to be able to sell things and talk things, you should know that once in a while, the selling is going to lead to talking, right? And you can't get butthurt about that when it happens.
Mhm.
So, that's all.
And the funny thing is that I am a seller, and I found very quickly when I jumped on this, like anybody else who's selling, or trying to sell off of eBay and saying, I could sell on Facebook and see if I can get Facebook eBay value on Facebook dime without paying fees. It's just ridiculous. You just don't do it, because people are looking to buy something on a Facebook group that's a deal, rather than, if they want to go to eBay, they'll go to eBay and buy it on eBay. So, and then the headaches that come forth with Facebook, and you get everybody coming at you in regards to whatever price, even if it's a fair price. Sometimes you have some people coming at you going, oh, I want it for free.
I'll give you $1.
Well,
You pay for the shipping.
Which is fine. Like, I know the whole haggling and trying to get the bet, figure out where that break even point is, where his lowest is and where your highest is, and meet at that point. And but I quickly realized, like, listen, I just don't want those headaches, and I stick with eBay, because you know what, the 13%, to me, I'd rather pay that instead of go through all that hassle. And that's just a decision I made in regards to selling figures. And unfortunately, with eBay, you just, this is my price. If you don't want it, go to the next auction. If you do, there you go, buy it.
Yeah.
And there's no kind of rebuttal or no kind of fuck you, what are you doing? And and that's kind of where I stand.
Hey,
and the 13% is so justified to me.
This piece is it's chipping in this little corner where you can barely see it in the back of the figure, and it's underneath this. But I noticed it. So could I get $10 back? Like, come on, exactly that. I get why people avoid selling in the groups as opposed to selling on eBay, because unless you're selling to people that you know.
Yeah. And if it's something that I want to just get rid of, I'll put it in the groups, put it for a low price, and get the fuck rid of it, because I don't care about making any money off of it, or I'm not looking to get the market demand price for it. So there's a reason for the groups, and then that's the reason for the groups. Is to put something that you want to get out there and get it rid of, and you're not looking to price gouge on a particular item, and you just want to get it out of your collection. That's what the groups are for.
Yep.
That's why I love selling in person. I mean, I don't
Exactly.
sell online.
Yeah.
And like on person, they have the chance right there to ask you every single question that they can, and they can walk away or maybe haggle a little bit, or maybe just be like, all right, yeah, it's fine, I'll get it, kind of thing. I miss that. Like, dude, it's gonna be a long time before we get a chance to do that again. I believe. I don't know. It sucks.
We
God,
could
it
open
fucking
up a
sucks.
fucking a group fucking sale. Hey, what do you got in your closet? I'll be right back. Who wants this? You pay for shipping. I'll take $10 off.
Well, that like with Dave, you mentioned that the group that we have that we sell, we shut off all that stuff. We shut, like, here's the price. If you want it, take it. If you don't, go somewhere else.
Yep, no comments,
no comments,
Yep,
no nothing.
exactly.
That's what like, if you're in a buying and trade group, it's you're gonna have those conversations. You're gonna have those people coming at you. You're gonna have the haggling, and that's what it's for. So don't get like if you're selling something and you're expecting that, you know, hey, I'm not going to get that. I don't want to that. Then you're got another thing coming to you, because then put it on your post and say fixed price. Even if you do, like people still come at you and say, hey, how about $50 cheaper, or you know, blah blah blah. And
Yeah,
you
but
still
you know,
don't get that.
I'm more talking about the after the sale banter that Dave was
Yes,
talking
yes,
about.
yes,
Like,
yes,
you know,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
why like you have it in person. Like, here it is. Hold it in your hand. Look it over. Right.
Yes,
Bend an elbow. You know, whatever.
and that's like
And
actually
then you
that
get
is
home
like
and you're like, oh, there's a paint chip on the ear.
Brian, you're
Shit,
good.
why didn't I see that when I was at the place?
That's because they
Yeah.
were too fucking wrapped up in your fucking sales lingo. You're a good sales guy. I've seen you do it. You've sold people things that they didn't think they originally needed. Because you're like,
Because
oh,
I knew-
and by
I
the
knew
way,
that-
you need one of these.
That's because
Fucking
I
come out
knew
with
they
some
needed what they
fucking
needed.
Ninja
Can't
Turtle
take this
frying
without-
pan or something.
Yeah, you can't
No,
take this without
yeah.
that.
I properly qualified the customer, and I made sure that they left with what I believe they needed.
and that's a lesson that I teach. If people are selling on eBay, be as transparent as possible. Don't post something like if you know it's a figure and it has some damage, take the pictures of the damaged items. Be as transparent as you possibly can when selling on eBay, because at the end of the day, it's not worth it. Because when you do send that figure and something is wrong with it, and you weren't upfront with it, that person's gonna fucking fucking just file a claim, and you're gonna have to pay for fucking shipping back. It's just not worth it. It's just not worth it. So don't try to play those games on eBay, because at the end of the day, it's just gonna burn you, because eBay protects the buyer, not the seller.
Yeah. Yeah.
So so you just, you know, be transparent, and on the groups as well. Just be as transparent if you're selling on the groups, and you know, try to explain what the figure is. Obviously, if it's still sealed in its original packaging, you know, be as truthful as possible. You know, some of these are collector packaging, and if you're saying it's new and it's just, you know, you can't tell it whether it's new, and you just you know, you're playing the game and saying, oh, it's brand new, and it's not in it, it's in the packaging, you know, you got to be careful and be a smart buyer in regards to that. If you know that line of toys has collector packaging, that somebody can put it back in all nice and neat and had it displayed and played with it for 1,500 times, you know, you're going to know that nothing's new in that type of line. You know what I'm saying? Nothing is
Doodle
new.
dust on the figure. You already know that shit didn't come like that.
If somebody puts a Mythic Legion and says it's brand new, don't even think it's fucking brand new, because he can take that figure out, play with it, twist tie it back up, and fucking put it back in the packaging saying it's new. So don't ever fall for the fact that something's new. If he's, you know, if the guy's honest and he says it's new, then granted. But as a buyer, don't ever think it is.
Cases.
Yeah. But
Seal
cases is fine.
matter. It's new to me. It's new to me.
And even then, you guys can see,
on it. It's not your place.
and you guys also bought Mythics. There's sometimes when you bought like a new one right from them at the fucking table, you take the figure out and one leg is a little looser than the other. It's like, you know, you're gonna get that.
You've got stuff come directly from manufacturers that missing pieces. Shit happens.
Missing pieces.
It happens.
Yeah. So.
Well, I think we this is a pretty good topic.
Yep.
I think we could wrap up on that, unless anybody has anything else they wanted to add.
Just ask. Be conscious of this stuff.
Yes, please.
Look at eBay sold listings.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
And
you know somebody in this community, just reach out. That's all you got to do.
Yep. Ask around.
Ask around.
Ask around. Do your homework, and you know, if you're like to the devil's advocate that Gary played, if you really do want to spend that type of money and you're willing to spend that money, knowing after you know all the things that have been taught to you or you've learned after doing your homework, and if you still want to pay that price, that, you know, go ahead. You know, nobody's going to fall.
Yeah, and the thing is, online comments on any topic are just that. You know what I mean? You gotta just take it for what that is too. You know, in the toy world, collecting world, you know, political whatever else you're interested in that you happen to follow. It's just 9 times out of 10 people either, honestly, right, Dave, either just doing it for fun, for conversation, or to try to get some type of reaction.
Yes.
And when you overreact, other than and take it out of context for what it is, I mean, nothing good ever comes from it. There's no winner. You know what I mean? You're not going to win.
And sometimes you don't know what kind of reaction you're going to get from that person too. Like, they didn't know if I was going to even respond. So they decided to write whatever they felt. And they're like, oh, look, he fucking came back. He makes a lot more sense than I did, Dom wrote me. He was like, man, somebody's really getting on you. Don't they know who you are? He wrote me. And I go, I guess not. And it has nothing to do with, who I am. I'm just a collector like everybody else, and and I'm just there to make friends. And, that's a new group for me. A lot of people don't know me there. They just, see the name come up and they're like, oh, who the fuck is this guy? But at the end of the day, I've been doing this for quite some time. I do it with a bunch of other like-minded dudes and a big group of, just as big group as their group, which I enjoy very much. And I just want to let them know that, before I get kicked out tonight. But no,
you're fucking out.
The reality of it is, you got some people in there who are just taking advantage, and you got people in there who aren't being schooled the right way. And if somebody wants to take it like I'm coming down on them, let it be, but I'm not just gonna sit there and stay quiet. So sorry.
Damn the man.
For the people.
And with that, guys, we're done with breaking the mold. I'm gonna go down the line, ask everybody to tell me where you can find them, and I'll start off with Mr. Gary Allen.
Gary Allen, the Facebook group. It's the best place.
Dominic.
You can find me on the Facebook group Dominic Grasso, and here Tuesday nights
Brian.
with Gary.
Oh,
We are here.
you can find me here in this room, in this chair, 16 hours a day.
God.
Forever.
Dude, you gotta get
With no belt. With no belt on.
Is there a window in that room?
He doesn't have a
There
button
is.
down on today.
Okay.
There's no button down. What?
No button down.
Yeah, I
No,
left it
he has a button.
downstairs.
Oh
It's a
yeah, it's a
little
black
chilly.
t-shirt.
But oh yeah, that's the other thing too. I've basically been wearing the same 5 shirts a week. It's another habit of mine.
What do you go
laundry?
I mean, I wash them once a week, but it's the same shirt.
Well, yeah, but you're not doing,
Yeah.
2 loads of laundry.
I'm kind of
rather
guilty of
than
that
one.
too, Brian. It's like I've been rotating between a bunch of my comfy tees because there's only
Yeah.
certain tees you want to wear every day to lounge around, and other ones you want to wear out. So I got you there.
My wife does laundry 2 times a day because there's nothing else there to do.
My wife does laundry on Tuesday nights right before I get on and makes a ton of noise down the stairs, and I put this on mute and curse her out every fucking week. How about that? And I'm like, it's fucking Tuesday. Don't you fucking get it?
That's what a wife's there
JD.
for.
Where can they find you?
They want to fuck with you.
You can find me here in this house, or out in the yard, or up in the project room, or breaking something.
You digging holes in your backyard, JD?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, you can find me JD Brocious in the Facebook groups, Pigment Surgery on Instagram, Xbox Live, Shelf Gravy, all over different.
It just cracks me up. That's what I feel like. I feel like the bottom half of my body is this chair. I'm
Nice.
sorry, JD.
Spider Brink.
Well, before I sign off, I want to remind everybody of the other cool shows we have on here. So let me play this real quick.
Oh.
JD, I'm sorry you weren't done, right?
Oh no, I was just gonna mention Figure Banging tomorrow.
Oh, tomorrow, really? Nice.
Yeah.
What are you guys doing?
You're gonna have to tune in.
Tanks
I
flooding
never,
the snow.
never fucking get him to fucking say it. Ever.
It's always a surprise. Come on, you know this.
And with that, I'm John Addict. You can find me on Instagram. I don't post much anymore, but I'm still there. David Colon in the Facebook groups here on Tuesdays. And I will say this, guys. I've asked plenty of times before. There's a bunch of you in the chat tonight, so a lot of names I'm very familiar with. A lot of people that have a lot on their brains, so to speak. Can you guys give us some fucking topics that you would like us to talk about? Like, really, like between us, we come up with some stuff sometimes, but sometimes we are all, fishing for stuff. So we would like some really cool topics. So
yeah, they could be like thought provoking or even whimsical. I think we try to have a good range,
Yeah.
So I think we're pretty flexible for
And
stuff.
don't be offended if they don't get picked because I drop stuff and they never pick mine. So it's
Oh,
fine.
Brian, you're not. But
It's
guys,
like
for
I'm
real,
not even part of the chat.
seriously, get on that. Get us some topics. We want to hear from you guys. So I'll be looking forward to either hit myself up or any other guys you feel comfortable with. If you don't like me. And with that, we're out.
Say it with me now.
Round